So this video is just really supposed to be educational, maybe a little bit of fun for somebody, and offer a starting point for a project of their own. So what this actually is about, project-wise, is we have, excuse me, so right here on this GitHub page, I'll go ahead and close these for just a second. You can come here. This is going to be the project. I'll link it in the video description. If you want to come to the branch, CES Example VR, this is where the implementation is. This is a clone of the repo that it came from. So I didn't do this documentation. It's very good documentation though. So AVR board, you can do RN module up here. This is what gives a Bluetooth communication. Different LEDs on the board that you'll see. The embedded device, it has an EEPROM device if you want it. It has a security device if you want it. This is an accelerometer and a gyro, and then this is the temperature sensor. These are the header pins right here, and if I bring back up my board, you'll see it right here. You can see that I have plugged headers into that, and what that is doing is that's giving me the RX and the TX serial data, and it's supplying power and ground to this board. So this is the schematic for the board, laid out pretty nice. Demonstration of its behavior. So I will actually show you what it does generically. So the out-of-box behavior, what you would expect it to do, what we're going to demonstrate in a second. And then this is the format that it talks in, so the protocol format. So you can look at that. Examples of it, and then some more information, and down below you'll have flow diagrams. So this gets into the architecture of the application design. And then I'll go through that kind of briefly as well. I'll show you where I've inserted code to do certain behavior, but this would be a valuable resource if you do want to use this example to kind of create your own thing. So this is a user story. Physical person can interact with serial terminal, which is what we do right here. So I am a physical person. I am interacting with a terminal, and there we go. So this is the data that we are going to see coming out of the board. You can see that this format is a little bit different than the documented format. This is my data for Unity will consume this. So what this is actually doing is I just interacted with serial terminal. We are seeing that serial terminal. It is the embedded device that is printing it out. It is coming from a Bluetooth module. The phone can interact with it, and the human can interact with that phone. So I will be this human, and I was this one as well. So code sequence, you can look through that. Schematics. Nothing too important there. So just before I get into this, if you would like to play around with these repositories, again, it is here, 8-bit VR. So you will need Unity of this version. You will get the Visual Studio Code is what I use. C# comes with Unity for community license. VR asset is VR, Steam VR plugin. So this is what gives me the hands, teleportation, things like that. And then Unity asset is Ardity. So this is what supplies the serial communication. So the requirements are basically one of these development boards if you want to play around with this demo. And this is right here, the format that I talk in. So temperature data, LED, push button, accelerometer data, and GPIO values. And then it is formatted something like this, which looks like a JSON format. So right here. So I will go ahead and close. Well, we'll leave that open actually. And I'll bring back this other window. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my phone real quick. You will be able to see this demonstration again. We're gonna go ahead and go into light blue. I know it's blurry, I'm sorry, I don't have the best equipment, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and go into it. So now we're in a connected state, so we're gonna see that our data slows down a little bit. What I'm doing is I'm giving priority to the phone app on the embedded device before it goes to the computer. So if we want to toggle LEDs, then we can toggle the LEDs appropriately. So you can see those LEDs have turned on here, and then they retain state here, and then I can do the push button. So if we look at the center terminal, let me move that over a little bit. We will also be able to see that the push button value changes to a 1. LEDs are now a 7, so I can change these down to this state, and then that will turn it into a 4. And I believe that is because the connected LED is the third byte, which would make sense for 7 because 1 and then 2. So yeah, this is a 1 or it's a 2. And then the temperature value, and then the accelerometer value. value. So if we move this around, then we're going to get some changes on the values here. So I can also come down here and I can do something like write hello, and then I can send that, and you'll see hello appear right here. So it's been formatted into serial information. And so I actually do respond back from the embedded device. We say if we receive hello, I'm going to say hi back to it. Just quick demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from this now. We are going to close this window and get to kind of the quick little demonstration. So I'll leave this guy open. In Unity, we have this project right here. Oh my goodness, I left all these open. Let me close these for you guys. So it's not confusing. So you can see everything's kind of arranged over here. If you want anything, there's game objects, lights, moving objects, wedge items, action objects. RDD is here. So this is where it gets imported. I'll go into that in a second. Code logic. So this is where I'm doing data processing. So this is my messy main. This can be done better. I was doing it quick and easy to demonstrate things, but you can't actually see that. So over here is a messy main. So this is actually where we attach objects to the code directly. So you can use an interface inside of the code, and you can use inheritance and things like that. But this demonstrates the purpose that I was kind of going for. And then otherwise it's kind of teleportation points. So let me go ahead and bring this picture back up, and we'll get into the demo. So what we did with the demo is something like this. Get my hand over here. So you can still see the you can still see this kind of here. So let me just make sure I'm looking. There we go. So if I look here and I say, well, this is my red LED. We're going to go ahead and turn that red LED on. And then if I look and say, this is my green LED, we're going to go ahead and turn that green LED on. Let me shrink this a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. I don't know why this isn't shrinking, but okay. So otherwise what we have is, so I can interact now with virtual world with the physical board. We have our data coming in, X or Y, Z values, and when we have something like this. So now what we have is a virtual representation of the physical board. So I can't ship that board out to show somebody, but I can say, hey, this is what it looks like, and guess what? It will turn its LEDs on like this. And you're like, oh, well, that's really cool. I'm interacting with the board virtually. So what that means is we can actually, this is Bluetooth, and I can, when this board changes, it'll change on the phone app, and I'll show you guys in a second. We can do something else. So we say, in virtual world, I have this ball over there. Let me make sure I can get to it properly. And then if we grab that board and we move it all around, then it moves that board, and then you have those moving objects, you have tracing values there. I can have the push button turn on, and then I'll turn on lights inside of that ball for us. And then if we have something like this, so we have a walkthrough on a house or something like that, and we can have the geometry modeled so that you're like, well, this is what your new home would look like, and this is what your new automated blinds might feel like if you're just pushing on the Bluetooth board. So I can, push on the push button in the Bluetooth application to do these same behaviors. Let's to an actual physical board. So again, now we have the virtual representation of a giant wedge here and some data. So what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go back down here, put that back here. We'll go ahead and turn my phone back on. And then on my phone now, I'm going to, we'll go ahead and reconnect to the board. So now we see that blue lights come on, and guess what? Now we have our blue light on this board. And I'm going to say, well, can we find my controller? There we go. So now if I go over here, and then I have this one, that's got its blue light on. And so I can warp over here, and we say this one's got its blue light on. So now what we're doing is we're having a lot of different objects tracking over the same behavior. And things like that. So if I want to toggle my LEDs now, let me say, well, let's go ahead and turn that green LED on. Then we got the green LED on. Let's go ahead and turn that red LED on. And got that red LED on. And the same thing is it's going to exist everywhere. Let's go ahead and turn that green LED off now. And so now if we go over here, then there we go. Wait, what? That green LED appears to still be on. Did I? Oh wait, I turned it on. That's why. Let's go ahead and turn the red off, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Makes more sense. Yeah. So that was kind of the core idea here. One of the other cool things is you will see, let me get myself out of here real quick. So it's kind of red now, right? And this is kind of looking like it's in the evening time. Go ahead and turn this guy off. And so what's actually going on here is there is a temperature sensor on this board. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little cold spray on it. And then with that, it's gonna go ahead and turn the temperature down, and then that's gonna make it feel like it's nighttime. So that means that we can have physical boards that are manipulating our virtual environments, in real time or in an interactable way, so that if it's hot outside or it's hot in our room, then we can change the way that those virtual environments render for the users that are playing, or if they're in a professional meeting or anything along those lines, then they can interact in this more interactive way. So that's kind of the core idea behind the whole demonstration, being able to pipe data through. That means that if we want it to, this is a Bluetooth application, but again, I can have internet data come in, I can have it come over my computer, I can have it go to the embedded device, I can have it go to any of the bridging devices inside of my house, and open a gateway or a concentrator, basically. We'll go ahead and close this real quick. Alrighty. So that was